Figure 6.5, the respiratory system. Nasal cavity. Cleanses, warms, and humidifies inhaled air. Bronchial tubes. Air passageways inside the lung. Lungs. Site of gas exchange between air and blood. Trachea. Transports air to and from the lungs. Pharynx and larynx. Carries air to the trachea and produces sound. Moving on to page 124. The trachea, or windpipe, is the tube that carries inhaled air from the larynx down toward the lungs. It is formed and protected by 16 C-shaped, incomplete rings of cartilage. At the level of the lungs, the trachea splits, or bifurcates, into two branches called the bronchi. One main stem, bronchus, goes to each lung. Inside each lung, the bronchi continue to branch and split. Bronchi is the plural of bronchus. The branches are called bronchioles, like the branches of a tree, and the air passages get smaller and smaller. Eventually, each branch ends at a group of alveoli. The alveoli are the small sacs within the lungs where gas exchange, the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, takes place within the bloodstream. The diaphragm is a structure that divides the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity. It is a large muscle that is primarily controlled by the phrenic nerve. During a normal respiratory cycle, the diaphragm and other parts of the body work together to allow the body to inhale and exhale. The role of the diaphragm and other muscles in the respiratory cycle is described next. Trachea. Trachea. The CH is pronounced like a K. Trachea. The windpipe. The structure that connects the pharynx to the lungs. Lungs. The organs where exchange of atmospheric oxygen and waste, carbon dioxide, take place. Bronchi. The two large sets of branches that come off the trachea and enter the lungs. There are right and left bronchi. The singular, just when you're just talking about one bronchus, it's bronchus. And when you're talking about more than one, you use the term bronchi. Alveoli, the microscopic sacs of the lungs where gas exchange with the bloodstream takes place. Diaphragm, the muscular structure that divides the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity, a major muscle of respiration. As an aside, I suggest that you talk to Grandma and get from her the story of what happened to Grandpa's lungs, because maybe that will help you memorize this. His first surgery that he had many, many years ago, they accidentally cut a nerve that went to his diaphragm. And so that made it so that his diaphragm no longer worked on one side of his body. And so it basically made it so that one of his lungs didn't work. And he lived for many, many years without a working diaphragm. And she can tell you more about when he was dying in the hospital, about how that, as well as the infections that he was getting, were impacting his respiratory system, and how ultimately his respiratory system is the thing that failed and made it so that basically he had to be on life support and would never have been able to continue living on his own without artificial breathing to help. So that story might help you memorize some of this information.